A lot of people are asking for. I'm kind of hoping they don't go with just ragdoll uh, for deaths. As much fun as people seem to have with ragdolls, it always kind of throws me when you end up with things like enemies that maybe get back up after they die, because you can always tell which ones they are because they don't ragdoll.
Right.
Yeah, I tell you, the single coolest thing to me still are the zombies that are cut off from the waist down crawling after you.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
Those
That
guys
is
are
so
awesome.
awesome.
In the
So
game.
amazing.
And they'll crawl out of like the sewers in the wall that way too.
I actually experienced one of those before I ever saw a screenshot of it. I was like, I like paused and I was just like, guys, let's enjoy this moment right now. Everyone look at my screen. That zombie.
Look, I'm gonna kite him.
I cut him in half and he is still crawling towards me. I will let that guy bite at my ankle. So cool.
That's awesome. In other news, there's an awesome Blizzard retrospective video
Yeah.
celebrating their 20th year. If you don't know, Blizzard has been a company for 20 years, and they got this awesome video on their website. We'll link to it on the blog, or you can just Google it. But they got a pretty long video talking about all the games they've made and how they've grown as a company and where they are today. And it's just a really awesome video. I dug it a lot. I think I'm going to watch it again, actually.
It's mostly focused on the origins of and kind of their original lineup of games. So there's not a whole, well, there's basically no Diablo stuff, but if you're a Blizzard fan, there's tons in there.
I think it's also funny that it was, forget what game, it was like Blackthorn maybe? It was somewhere around that time
that's it.
where they got a clip of Samwise actually saying, and this is about the time when we established what Blizzard's art style was going to be. It was like long before Warcraft or Diablo or anything. And so this is the thing that's always been funny for me with people complaining about Diablo 3's graphics. It's like, that's Blizzard. That's what they do. They've always
This
done
is
that.
the day we established this because they hired me.
Yeah, it was like, that's Samwise. The guy's been there since the beginning. So...
And he actually had short hair when they hired him.
That was funny. That was also funny with the Blackthorn. It was interesting that every single character in Blackthorn had long, black, stringy hair. Our two artists had long, black, stringy hair. And just Samwise. Oh. So funny.
Awesome.
Remember playing that game.
Yeah, that's a good video.
I remember getting that game with a PC Gamer, and it was like the demo that came with PC Gamer, and it was on like this little 3.5-inch disc.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that game was fun.
There's also, on that same website, there's also an intro video from Mike Morhaime and Frank Pierce saying thank you and all that stuff. Good stuff. So if you want to check, that one's not as long, but it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really inspiring seeing just how humble their beginnings were to where they are now.
Yeah.
Holy
I mean, listening to everything they went through, taking cash advances on credit cards and everything.
to pay payroll.
Holy
jeez.
nuts.
That's the money.
But now look at them, dude. Think they have to do that now?
I love they were saying that, like, just how unprepared for World of Warcraft they were.
Yeah.
Because I think at that time wasn't, like, EverQuest only had like a couple, I think it was like 300,000. Am I wrong? I don't know.
I think EverQuest, how many did they? Yeah, like EverQuest was the biggest, and they hadn't broken 1 million. No MMO had broken 1 million.
That's what was so funny. Wasn't their goal for like, after the first year we'll have like 400,000?
Yeah.
They hit 1 million in the first month. It was like, what?
Yeah,
Whoops.
they were hoping. They were hoping that that launch would get them 200,000 subscribers, and they had that on the in the first 12 hours they had 200,000 subscribers. And like I remember, I logged in second day, and it took forever to get in there. I went over to I killed something, and it was like 10 minutes to loot the body. And if you died, it was like 15 minutes to res. Like the infrastructure was just so hammered by how much it exploded, and then it didn't stop So they were over their projected projected hopes within. It wasn't like, oh, it grew faster than we thought. It grew faster than we could have fathomed.
And that was
couldn't even handle.
It was the
It was
crazy.
like we were hoping they were hitting their 6-month projections in 6 days.
Yeah. And to top it all off, I mean, this is a recurring thing that's happened with them. This actually happened in the Diablo 2 beta stress test because there were so many people that logged into it that they weren't expecting. Just completely overloaded the system.
That's so awesome.
It's gonna happen with Diablo 3 as well.
You gotta imagine like being there and like, guys, what did we do? How do we fix this? What did we do?
They've gotten pretty good at dealing with it. I think they've kind of hit the point with, WoW, where they're like, okay, we now have the population of New York subscribed to our game. It can't get much.
You know what it
worse.
actually reminds me of? 2008 BlizzCon tickets. It was it was when they decided, they're deciding to take on the sales of the tickets themselves, and they're like, we only had like 10 people come to our first BlizzCon, so this one should be, not too much. And it was like completely blew their ticket servers up. It just exploded. And they sold out in, what did they say, less than a second? The second batch they put on there was less than a second, and they were sold out.
It's just insane.
I don't know, something ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I really hope I get tickets this year.
Well, this year it's a lot better. If you're waiting there, like hitting refresh on the site when they go on sale, you'll get one because you're put in a lineup now. You're put in queue.
Okay.
When I did that, I was like 50th in line. And I mean, obviously the 50th person's going to get tickets.
Right.
So, and
it's one of those you can relax.
And they've now tested that system last year with BlizzCon. They've launched, the people have to use the same system for registering StarCraft 2. So it's
highly likely
tested system at this point.
Excellent.
Highly likely, if you're sitting there waiting, hitting refresh, you'll get a ticket.
Rad. And I will be.
Did you see that thread earlier today? I think it was. This guy was like, "Why isn't Diablo 3 going to be at PAX East? Why East Coast? Why?" I was like, I share your pain.
I posted in it. I said it's because of the smell.
Hey,
I blame the humidity. East Coast stinks of sweat.
Harsh.
Hey, so do I most of the time.
I'm a kid. I kid.
That's a good question though. Why isn't it going to East Coast?
Hang on. Well, he responded.
Oh, what'd he say?
And it was because in the previous PAX East, Blizzard didn't even actually attend it in an official capacity. And NVIDIA was putting on the StarCraft 2 display.
Oh.
So that's kind of why that was there.
Because
Blizzard doesn't really go to those things too much because they have BlizzCon, so
right?
They have their own con, and I guess they go to the Gamescom in Europe because it's Europe.
Right.
And it's Gamescom, and that thing's massive. But PAX East, it's Penny Arcade.
And then they had that Blizzard Invitational. Is that what it was in France?
Yeah, and that was again Blizzard's own thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I've always figured. They didn't go to the other ones just because they have their own.
Right. They run their own show.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Ready to move on to other news, gentlemen?
Yes.
Well, there's the evolution of the Demon Hunter.
Yep. On DIII.net or Diablo.incgamers.com.
Do you think it's important to note these aren't necessarily like leaked pictures? These have all been released previously by Blizzard.
So we saw most of them at the last BlizzCon. In very low res.
Yeah, so when you first read that it's from an ex-Blizzard artist, this guy isn't like leaking information or like being rude. These are just he had high quality images that we can actually look at. That's all this is. He's not breaking any laws or being sneaky or spiteful.
Right.
He actually apparently refused to go on the record about anything while he was working at Blizzard. Like he didn't. It's just Here's some art. Here's nice quality pictures of the demon
Yeah,
hunter.
so these are pictures that he did while he was working at Blizzard, and so he's now got the high-res ones up as part of his portfolio, and so we get to see them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they'll be on the blog and linked to.
And it's really interesting to watch, or to kind of see the evolution. There's two of them kind of look really the same, just one's unarmored and one's armored. And
Right.
one guy, he doesn't even look like a ranger type person.
Yeah.
Funny.
That
One
top
of them
picture
looks-
is just strange.
Yeah, the guy, I don't know. I guess he's second from the right. He looks like he belongs in a desert.
Yep,
You catch my
Yeah,
drift?
that's what I kept thinking when I was looking at that picture.
It's got some kind of monkish qualities.
He's got the ninja assassin vibe going for him.
So,
Yeah, so there's that.
I think that's about it for news.
That is about it. Yeah, I think we covered everything. Which brings us to community feedback. We got a question from Sherwin on Facebook. He writes, or asks, which demon would you want to fight the most? Asur, Astroga, Gulag, Thonos, Cabraxis, Lilith, Lucian, or Zazax? And I don't remember most of these, so...
Cabraxis we just talked about today.
Yeah.
I
I'm
I
assuming
can-
they're from the books.
Yeah,
Definitely
pretty much
Lilith
all of those.
is pretty big character.
Yeah, I could tell you a little bit about each of those. If,
Yeah, we've talked about
sure.
some of them.
Do it. Give me a rundown so I can have an educated answer. Because my last one I was like, I'd go with Lilith because I remember her, but Lucian also reminds me of the head Lycan in Underworld. So that's why I picked that one.
I remember a few of those, but I would probably go with Zazax just because in a game of Scrabble, that's like 80 points.
Oh, I would destroy you at Scrabble. Love me some Scrabble, man.
I could see him just throwing the board and eating you.
I automatically win.
I'm not playing anyone. All my opponents are dead.
Win by default.
It was
All right.
like Harrison Ford winning the Lifetime Achievement Award. He said he's in a category where all his competition is dead. Funny. I thought it was funny.
Poor taste, sir. All right, let's go through the list. Asur, who's Asur?
I'm trying to think of who that is, actually. I'll come back to that one. Astroga is in the final book, and he actually did appear in the Sin Wars as well. Astroga is this spider-type entity that kind of morphs between human form and spider form. So part of this...
Gross.
That one's already out.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, gross. Let me guess. He has a red hourglass on his abdomen. I hate that.
You just
All
never
right,
know.
Gulag.
Gulag is this weird, shape-shifty type, completely retarded minion of destruction. You know, he is liquid. He can.
Smosh.
You could just imagine being in the stone corridor and it turning liquid underneath your feet, and he's just crushing you.
Ooh,
You know, he's
That's
very,
weird.
very odd.
gross.
Figured
Alright,
he would have
Thonos.
been some kind of like Soviet forced labor camp or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's
Wrong
he's
Gulag.
It's a little hard to describe. Thonos is, look out, anime television. This guy is a huge monster, tentacle monster with lots of eyes.
Oh,
Tentacle rape. Not
Oh.
again. Not again.
Yeah.
no, thank you. No,
Cabraxis we heard about today.
Right.
Lilith and Lucian are old friends of ours.
Exactly. And Zazax is another one that we talked about here recently with Book 4. And he's the big praying mantis type demon.
Ooh.
Huge razor scythe arms, and he's got a black body and these huge veiny gold pulsating aspect over his body, and yeah, that sort of thing.
So now, do we mean like fight as in me personally fight, or fight in the context of Diablo 3? 'Cause me personally fight, I'll take all of them on at once. Let's do this.
Me personally, I'd take the spider. I'll just come in with some
Oh.
bug spray and rock them. You know?
That's so
One of those bug
Great.
bombs.
That's funny.
Diablo 3 context, though, I'll go with Zazax.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Was which one was the body hopper? Was that Lilith or Lucian?
Well, actually, Lilith was.
She was the body hopper. That would be fun. You have like a party and she keeps like taking over different people in your party. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be pretty awesome. I must admit.
I'm gonna go with that one. I'm gonna stick with Lilith and Lucian.